Hello everyone, this is going to be a shorter video, and this is going to be dedicated to Banelings. A little bit of information about them, but mostly how to micro against them as Terran. And if you don't know, my APM is about 30, so I am no microing wizard. This is a very simple micro that you should be able to do yourself, because if I can do it, anyone can do it. First of all, the attack is what we're really interested in here. You can see that they do 20 damage when they explode, but they actually do 35 to light armor. To light armored units. Now, Marines are light, which means they take 35 damage. And with 45 hit points, that means they die in 2 shots. Even with the 10 hit point upgrade and 3 armor upgrades, they're still going to die from 2 Banelings. Now, I'm not quite sure if its splash damage does 100% damage, like whether it does 35 to everything in its range or whether it's lesser or not. But definitely 2 direct Baneling hits will kill a Marine, and I would assume 2 indirect hits would also kill Marines. So, yeah, very, very brutal enemy for Marines. They can really kill you en masse. So first, I am going to show you just what I do when I'm fighting them with a small fleet. So, if you watched my last video, this is my partner and I going in with our all-in Marine Rush 2v2. And we're going to run into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Banelings with about, 12, 14 Zerglings. So I'm going to slow it down here and I'll show you. There's no way not to get hit, but I'm just trying to lessen the damage. I see them coming in, and I just see how I pull some units up top, and then I pull some down below. That was definitely enough Banelings to completely wipe that force of Marines right off the face of the earth. So I'll show that one more time. So I split, I pull some units up top, and then I pull some units down to the side, and that way they can't hit everything at once. Now I'm going to show you more how to handle it with a larger fleet. Okay, so here I have about 120 supply fleet with a mix of Marines and Marauders, and I'm going to be up against Hydras, Zerglings, and Banelings. Now, there's a few different ways you can handle this sort of micro, but if you're like me and you don't have crazy APM, I'll just show you the simplest way that I use. Basically what I do is I hotkey my Marines ahead of time. For me, I keep my whole fleet on 1, and then I'll hotkey my Marines separately on 2. And then I'll show you what you do. You go in for the attack. Hopefully you've stimmed at the beginning of the attack, so it works better. And then I press 2 to get to control my Marines, and I pull my Marines out, right here. Okay, I'm pulling them out. I let my Marauders soak up the hits. And then I bring my Marines back into the fight. So why do I let my Marauders soak up the hits? Because Banelings only do 35 damage to light. To armored units, they only do 20 damage. And Marauders are armored. So if Marauders have 125 hit points and they're armored, that means they would take 7 Banelings just to kill 1 Marauder. So they're really good as working as tanks. So here we can show you one more time. I select my Marines, pull my Marines out of the fight, let my Marauders take the Banelings, and hopefully like my Medivacs help stem the tide. I mean, he still kills a few of my Marauders, but I think that's more than worth the amount of Banelings lost there. Now I pull my Marines back in. Obviously there are other ways of handling Banelings, but for me, as someone who has horrible fleet micro, I find this the simplest method. I hope that's useful. And I guess while I'm making this video, I'll also show how to handle Banelings against buildings. So I'll do that now. Okay, so here's a match where I'm doing my quick expand build. I went straight to a command center and walled off my ramp, and I'll be making a planetary fortress immediately. So since I don't scout with this build, and since Banelings are tier 1, I immediately go for my Baneling defense. Defense from the Baneling bust. Now if you don't know what the Baneling bust is, that's when they ram Banelings into your wall on your ramp. Ram it into, like, say, a supply depot, break open the wall, and then go flooding in with Zerglings. And you can see at this point I've just finished making my first 2 barracks, so I don't even have any units. So had he done it at this point, I would be in a lot of trouble. So my defense for this is I build this little supply depot detour, I like to call it. This forces the Banelings to come within range of my planetary fortress, and then my fortress can actually one-shot kill them. So if it doesn't kill all the Banelings, it'll at least kill enough that the bust he won't be able to break through my supply depots. So that's my first defense. I have scouted 2 bases, and that he wasn't in, and I figure at this point it's probably too late to send an SCV scout into his base. He should have enough units that I won't see anything. So I just decided to send this SCV back and use my first 50 energy on scan. Oh, nope, I used on mule. I guess I used my next 50 on scan. Which is probably a little better timing, because that's the timing of when I could be seeing a lair, or a spire, or Nidus Canal. Things, really important buildings could be coming out. And I did see the lair, so I'm not sure what his lair tech is, but the one thing I've definitely seen is the Banelings nest. Now I know it's coming. So what do I do to defend? When I know it's coming, I usually grab the armor upgrade for buildings, which does add 2 armor to buildings, I believe. So if we look at the Banelings themselves, they have an attack here that does 80 damage to structures. So the armor will only take 2 damage off that, so it's not a big deal. The reason why I get the Banelings, or get that upgrade, is sorry, I forgot to mention, at this point in the game, I'm not worried about busting on my ramp. I have enough units and stuff like that, or at least I will. What I'm worried about is I'm ramming into my planetary fortress and taking out the fortress. So the reason I get that armor upgrade is that if the Banelings don't take out my fortress, but make it weak, I want my fortress to be able to withstand all these, like, Zerglings that are going to be hitting it afterwards. And 2 armor upgrade against Zerglings is a big deal. It could change as a 5 attack into a 3 attack. And with 3 armor already, I don't know how that'll put up to 5 armor. That doesn't really make sense to me. I'm not sure what 5 armor would do to a 5 attack. According to the math, it should be 0, but that doesn't make sense. Maybe reduce it to 1, I don't know. So at some point here, he is going to make the Baneling bust. Or not the Baneling bust, but he is going to ram it into my planetary fortress. Unfortunately, my upgrade didn't quite finish in time. So the other thing you really need to do, especially with these speedlings, how quick they can get us around on your planetary fortress, you gotta start repairing as soon as you see it. Here he's come in, and you can see my planetary fortress hit points down to 1100, 1000, 800, 700, 6. But 600, but I'm repairing it pretty well here. So yeah, he did a lot of damage to the fortress, but he really didn't kill anything, and that was a lot of units to lose. So yeah, that's your defense when he tries to just ram Banelings into your command center. Basically, just repair as soon as you can possibly repair. We did cast Contaminate on my fortress. Luckily, that my cannon still fires when it's contaminated. If it didn't, that would be a really crappy spell versus Terran. Yeah, so Banelings 80 damage versus buildings, so you gotta be careful with him coming in just for the expansion bomb, we'll call it. You can basically drop a nuke in the form of Banelings. So yeah, I guess that's about all I have to talk about Banelings, and yeah, I hope you found something useful in that video. Thanks everyone. Bye.